You are never attached to anything in life. O pure one, what are you trying to give up? Dissolving in this way the body-mind complex, or merging in this way the body-mind complex, dissolve into infinity. I'll repeat again. You are never ever attached to anything in this universe. O pure one, what are you trying to give up? Merging the body-mind complex in this way, thus dissolve into infinity. What does it mean? We are never attached to anything in this world. This is a typical style of Ashtavakra. He'll tell you the most astonishing, radical things. And yet if you meditate upon it, a great realization dawns upon us that he's just telling us the truth about ourselves. Think about it. Everything passes away. Look at the places you have lived in from your childhood till now. Places you have lived in, you have played in, the schools, your college, your house, and the places you have visited, countries you have seen. How it has changed from place to place to place. The people you have known, not only in this life. Hindus, Buddhists, we believe in many lives. So many fathers and mothers and grandfathers and grandmothers and husbands and wives and children and grandchildren, friends and enemies, people you have been indifferent to, life after life, they have all gone. They have all gone. Possessions, the most treasured and the most insignificant, all come and gone. Everything that is now here today, including this day, the setting sun is telling us just one thing: it will go. Vivekananda says, kings die and paupers die. The most learned die and the most ignorant die. The richest people die and the poorest die. The strongest die and the weakest die. Everyone dies. All of us, our bodies will die one day. We know that. But yet this is not what it is saying. This is the interesting thing about Ashtavakra. That's the surprising thing. Buddhism, Vedanta, in fact, all of these spiritual philosophies, they continuously tell us that the world is impermanent. Everything is impermanent, everything changes, everything goes. We are being told again and again and again. True. But there is another side of the equation which Ashtavakra is pointing out. If everything has gone, is going away and will go away, what it means is that nothing sticks to you. You are not attached to anything. You are not attached to anything in this universe. You see, the impermanence of things means that one, you who are experiencing these things, you are not attached to anything. They come and go. You will say, that's not true, Swami. I've got so many attachments. I'm attached to my wealth, my house, my children, my enemies. What would I do without my enemies? How could I pass my time? My opinions, my political views, my career, I'm attached to so many things. My body, my health, my youth, I'm attached to so many things. No, you are not. Think of the greatest possible attachment this world can ever see. The attachment of a mother for her young baby, a new child. A mother with her young baby, the greatest possible attachment. The child occupies her thoughts and emotions all day long, and yet every night when she falls asleep, if she does, I'm given to understand it's not easy to fall asleep if you have a new child in the house. But when she finally does fall asleep, happily, peacefully, gratefully, she slips into the unknowingness of deep sleep, where the world, her most precious baby, her own body, everything is forgotten in deep sleep. And she goes into that state without hesitation. She doesn't think, oh, I'm leaving my baby behind, what will happen? No. I'm not saying that you should not be attached. Ashtavakra is telling us you are not attached. You are not attached to anything. It is the mind which develops attachments. I want this to stay. I want that person to stay. I want this circumstances, this wealth, this health, this place, this environment. I want this to continue. This is the mind thinking. Yet beyond the mind, the Atman, the witness, you, the being consciousness, you are not attached to anything, not even to the mind itself. The mind itself disappears in deep sleep. You are not attached to anything. William Blake, he who grasps a pleasure doth kill the winged life. He who grasps to himself, I think he said a pleasure or something, or the moment, doth kill the winged life. But he who kisses the passing moment as it flies lives forever in eternity's sunshine. When you kiss the moment as it flies and let it go, you live forever in eternity's sunshine. How beautiful, William Blake. You see, the moment you grasp something, we think we are holding on to something, some person, some possession, some idea. The moment I grasp, you know what is happening? I'm also caught. As I'm holding on to this, if you now start dragging the lectern, I'll be dragged along with it because I'm caught now. Sri Ramakrishna's story about the classic case of addiction. There's a man who was standing by the riverside and there was a flood, and something which looked like an expensive rug was being swept away in the flood waters, and this man jumped into the river and swam hard to grasp the rug, and when he came near it, he found it was a bear being swept along. And the bear, of course, gives you a bear hug, and it caught hold of him. And the people who were standing on the side, the river bank, they saw this man being swept away. He said, let go of the rug. In Hindi, kambal ko chhod do. Let go of the rug. You'll be swept away. And the man shouted back, I have let go of the rug. The rug doesn't let go of me. That's attachment. That's addiction. But what Ashtavakra tells you is, that's also at the level of the mind. Really, you are not attached to anything. In Sanskrit, it is called asanga, asangatvam. Reflect upon it. What has stuck to you in life? Nothing. You say, bad habits, Swami? Bad habits were not there earlier. You developed it. Even today, when you go into deep sleep, not there. It's only when you wake up, the mind comes up. The habits are in the mind and the body. When you become aware of them, then you're aware of them again. Even there also, you're not stuck to it. You, the witness of the mind, is not stuck to anything in the body and mind. Consider this. That which we consider ourselves to be, this body and this mind, body-mind complex. Is this part of you or not? You think this is who I am. Yet consider this. Two things, if you can see them separately, they are not part of each other. They are separate. For example, a person, if you want to know whether he has got dentures or are they original teeth, the only way you can know is if you one day go suddenly to the house and see that person giving you a very toothless, beautiful, grandfatherly smile, and the teeth are sitting in the solution separately, then you know they're two separate beings, that person and the dentures. So to know whether something is separate, the two things are two independent, different entities, you need to see one without the other. Isn't that true? You need to see them separately. When the person is there wearing the dentures, you cannot know whether they're dentures or real teeth. You need to see them separately. Now, this body and this mind, is it you? Is it even a part of you? We would say that, yeah, that's who I am. And so all the problems of body, mind are my problems. And yet, every day when we fall asleep, when we dream, we completely forget this body and we forget the waking world. That I am safe and sound in my bed and this is my waking world, my whole biodata, all that is gone and a dream world comes before us. You might say, oh Swami, we're just dreaming. But what Vedanta points out is, look at your experience in the dream. You are there in the dream. It may be a dream, it may be false, but you are experiencing it. And your experience of a self, a conscious self, continues without any reference to the waking body, which is dreaming, which is sleeping in bed. The body of the waking state, this body, is sleeping in bed. You are having a conscious experience of a dream, which proves to you, you as a conscious being can continue without reference to the physical body. You're seeing the denture and the person separately now. You are not the body. Though you are acting through the body, you are using the body is there, you are not it. You are not attached to it permanently. The mind, with which we identify ourselves completely. As we go into deep sleep, the mind shuts down, no dreams. No dreams, absolute quiet. You see, I slept like a log. Sometimes you do that in Vedanta classes, on the pretext of meditation. I slept like a log, which means no mind, no dreams. Yet who slept? Vedanta says, you are still there because the mind is not there. There are no experiences. You require the mind and the senses and the body for experiences, or at least the mind for experiences. No mind is shut down, hence you do not have conscious experiences. Consciousness without experience, consciousness without object, a blankness, a darkness. But yet it means you were there. If you are not there, then who slept? How can you say that I slept soundly? What was it that slept soundly? What was it that experienced sound sleep? You are that which experiences the presence of the mind. You are that which experiences the absence of the mind in deep sleep. This is what yogis do. We fall asleep. They fall asleep consciously. They strip away the external world by quietening the senses. They quieten the body down to lose awareness of the body. They quieten the mind down, isolating the consciousness which is behind the mind. Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Tada Drashtu Swarupe Avasthanam, the third sutra, where the witness, the infinite consciousness which is the witness, remains in its own nature, in samadhi. Proving then, you are not even the mind is not attached to you. You are not attached to the mind either. You are not attached to this body, you are not attached to the mind. The body is there. You experience the changing body, the birth and the babyhood and the childhood and the teenage and the growth, youth, middle-aged, disease, decay, old age, death. All of this the body will undergo, not attached to you. Says, O pure one, what are you trying to give up? Very interesting. That one which is the witness of body and mind is pure. All impurity is in the world, in the body, in the mind. Not in that which is the witness of the mind. You are that which is the witness of the mind. You are forever pure. What are you trying to give up? Meaning thereby, you see, all our efforts to improve ourselves, to make ourselves more spiritual through prayer, through meditation, through good deeds. Either we are adding something to ourselves. I need some virtues. I want to be selfless. I need to be more integrated. I need to be more loving or kind, unselfish. I'm adding virtues to make myself better. Or I'm getting rid of things which I think are very bad for me, non-spiritual. I am very restless. I give up the restlessness, quieten the mind and body down. Thereby thinking I'm improving myself. Here it's telling you, you are absolutely pure and perfect, that vast perfectness which you already are. You need not add anything to that, because something that is perfectly pure, if you add anything to it, no matter how good, you're making it impure. Something that is perfectly pure, there's nothing impure to give up there also. What are you going to add? What are you going to give up? Ashtavakra has the danger of being misunderstood. It does not mean you're going to give up your spiritual practices. Practices to make your life better will continue. Practices to make your life better will continue. Ramakrishna asked his master Totapuri, you are an enlightened soul, you are enlightened. Why do you meditate so much every day? And Totapuri said, he was a wandering monk, and he was completely naked, but he had this pot, water pot. And he said that, look at this water pot. brass. If I do not polish it, it will lose its shine. In the same way, enlightenment, of course. But the mind has to be immersed in the reality which the self is. I am Brahman. It has to be immersed in that every day so that it retains the light of enlightenment. It retains the shine of enlightenment. Of course, Sri Ramakrishna had to come back to that also. He said, but if the pot were gold, you wouldn't have to polish it. I think thereby he was distinguishing between an avatar and an ordinary Jivan Mukta. What are you trying to add to yourself? You need not add anything to yourself, the Atman. You need not get rid of anything. That one which is the witness of body and mind, which is completely unattached to the world, to the people, to the events, to the body even, to the mind even, thoughts, ideas, memories. I've told you the story of the philosopher and the monk. I told this earlier. It's a true thing which I saw. A great philosopher, very respected. He told me once that he had a mild stroke and he was forgetting. Mind was not as quick as it was and he was forgetting. It's like a multimillionaire who's losing everything suddenly on Wall Street and it becomes a pauper next day. So all that he has worked for all his life, it's gone in a flash, suppose. How depressing that is. And the philosopher was saying, I'm so depressed, I am feeling great depression. I'm feeling miserable, sorry. And it's understandable. It's understandable. Exactly the same thing I saw with one crucial difference. A monk whom I revered very much, he has passed away. His name is Ram Maharaj Swami Mokshadanandaji. He was our Acharya at the training center, briefly, very briefly. At that time also he was very old and he was very unwell. He used to have oxygen given to him 8-9 hours a day. Never saw him unhappy, twinkling eyes always. One of the wisest people I've seen. I mean, I don't know if the comparison is good, but I'll make it anyway. Like in Star Wars, you see Yoda. Something like that. Yes. He even spoke like that a little bit. I used to go to him with questions about Vedanta. So one day I went to him. He was one of the greatest scholars we had in the order. Now look, same thing. I went to him one day towards the end of his life with a question and he thought and he thought and he thought and he could not remember the answer. A philosophical question. And he said, now I cannot remember, it's all going away. Exactly what the philosopher said. This monk is saying exactly what the philosopher said. But the next part is the crucial difference. I cannot remember now, it's all going away. And then with a broad smile and the same twinkle in his eyes, he said, let it go, its task is done. He has found something within himself which is independent of mind and body. It's there right now within us. We are that. Thus dissolving the body and mind, thus merging the body and mind, dissolve yourself into infinity. Dissolving or merging the body and mind does not mean committing suicide. I am completely unattached with body and mind. I don't need the body and mind. Let me kill myself. No, not suicide. Trying to stay alive, trying to kill oneself, both are signs of attachment to body and mind. Once Swami Bhuteshananda, the 12th president of our order, was visiting our ashram, Deoghar, and the Swami in charge there asked him, how do you look upon life now, Swami? And he said, he had a slow drawl, he said, I neither desire to live nor to die. He was 98 years old at that time. Neither desire to live nor to die. The life of the body will take its own course. Why are we so concerned with it? We are not attached to it. When you are not attached to the body and mind, it takes its own course. This is called the merging of the body and mind. This is called dissolution into the infinite. I am one with the infinite. Billions of bodies and minds are coming and going. This one also will go in its own way. Why worry so much about it? Why so worried about it? This verse in one Sanskrit word, asangatvam. Asanga means detached, detachment, non-attachment. This verse, what we read just now, it can be summed up in one Sanskrit word, asangatvam. Asangatvam means non-attachment. Remember, non-attachment is taught as a practice, that you should not be attached to anything. Here Ashtavakra is not teaching you a practice, it's telling you a fact about yourself. Your highest nature is non-attached. All phenomena arise in your consciousness, are experienced in your consciousness, disappear into your consciousness. The consciousness is not attached to any of it. The light which shines upon this room, people come and go, the light illumines everything, not attached to it. When the person goes away, the light doesn't go away with it. When the person comes here, light does not come here. Light doesn't stick to the person or to the things. It just illumines. You are that light which illumines everything that happens in your life. Asangatvam. All we are called upon to do, note it. That unattached reality within us has no problems. Has absolutely no problem. You're completely, forever free of problems. You can relax. That means, Swami, shouldn't I meditate? All the efforts I've been making? Certainly, meditation is done at the level of the mind. Meditate. Good works are done at the level of the body. Go on doing good works. Improve your life. Yes, you can go on. But remember, that which is a witness of the improved life, that is completely unattached to the improved life also. It experiences it. It's a good thing. It's a good project, a hobby to make a better life, a more spiritual life. Yes. I am not even joking. From the point of view within yourself, from the level at which you are none other than God, the spiritual efforts that you are making in your life, it's a nice hobby. Vivekananda said, what is all that we do in life? He said, you are polishing the mirror. All that we can do in life is to polish the mirror. When you have polished the mirror enough, look into it, you will see God. Even the mirror you are not attached to. The mind which is now listening to this, which likes this idea, not attached to that mind either. It appears to you. The mind which does not get this idea, is uneasy about this idea, you are not attached to that either. It's just a mind. You can see what crazy stuff I used to think in the Himalayas. There was a monk who lived in the hut next to me, a very old, very wise monk. He asked me what I was reading. I was staying in and begging for my food and meditating and reading this book. So he called me and I showed him this book. And he gave me another book. Vishnu Sahasranama, 1,000 names of Vishnu, a very devotional text. He said, read this with that. Otherwise you run the risk of going out of your mind. Always balance it. Now we shall go into the second one. This is just the opening theme. Now we are going to go deeper. One word take away from this verse, asangatvam. The truth, the reality that I am is non-attached, is unattached to the phenomena which it experiences, including this person, this little life, this person which we think we are, yet not that. It's a page in the book of life, many, many lives. Each life is a page which you turn over and you get into another life. The Atman, the pure consciousness, is experiencing this book of the universe. You're not attached to them. That particular page is not you. It's something that you have read, you experienced.